Gosh, first Submariner, now Dr. Doom loose on Earth. What happens next? We'll devote our lives to tracking them down. We can do no more. And next time I'll handle things my way. Well, friends, in 1962, you may have had to wait a while to see what happens when these two Marvel monarchs team up. But not today, as we go through issues 6 and 7 of the Fantastic Four. Issue 6, we finally get to see Namor and Doctor Doom team up to take down the Fantastic Four. We open up on Johnny Storm flying through the city on the search for Doctor Doom and the Submariner. We get to see some more recognition of the Fantastic Four by the general public as the Human Torch flies past. We also see Sue Storm down below racing home to see if the Human Torch has any further news for the team. This is when we get a close look at the Baxter building with a cross section of all the different rooms of operation that belong to the Fantastic Four. We also learn that the Four have their own private elevator that can only be accessed via technology in their belt buckle. As Sue arrives in the family's living quarters, we see that the team is answering fan mail that is sent to them. We then cut to the Submariner as he's having a chill time synchronized swimming with dolphins, wowing some onlooking tourists, until he's suddenly interrupted by a mysterious plane. Through a superhuman strike, Submariner manages to break into the plane where it is revealed to be piloted by Doctor Doom. Namor leads Doom back to his base in the Submariner's now ruined underwater city, where Doom attempts to convince Namor to team up with him in order to take revenge on the Fantastic Four. An offer that the Submariner initially declines because Bro is simping over Sue Storm.
Miles flirting with Gwen when I'm looking at Haley.
You're looking at her, right?
However, Doom manipulates him further into taking revenge on the surface world for what they've done to the underwater city and to his people. To this, Namor is eventually convinced.
Would you like to be out of Arkham right now and given a chance to take revenge on Batman?
I'd have to be crazy to say no to that offer.
And so Doom presents Namor with a device which will allow them to lift anything of any weight by the use of a control panel. So Namor sets off. As we cut back to the Baxter building, we see Johnny discover a picture of the Submariner, which belongs to his sister Sue, because she too is simping after King of the Sea himself.
Miles flirting with Gwen when I'm looking at Haley.
You're looking at her, right?
Sue does try to wrestle the picture from her brother, however, to not much success, as Johnny burns the photo instead, much to the upset of his sister. As the picture, after all, was her property, and Johnny had just no right to burn it. Sue does attempt to explain to her fellow teammates her attraction to the Submariner. However, she is interrupted by the Submariner as he enters the Baxter building, uninvited. The three men of the team immediately try to attack the Submariner. However, Sue comes to the Submariner's defense, although Johnny is having none of it and immediately attempts to burn a hole in the floor around the Submariner. Although to not much avail, as the Submariner has winged feet and can fly, and so the hole in the floor does nothing. After a quick security check, the team are shocked to find their home, the Baxter building, being magically lifted into the air. This is due to the device planted by the Submariner, which Doom has now activated, while the Submariner is still in the Baxter building, because this version of Doom has no loyalty and has double-crossed the Submariner. The team quickly race towards their own personal rocket and suit up into their own personal spacesuits to survive being lifted up into space. Once suited up, Reed attempts to use his stretching abilities to reach Dr. Doom's ship. However, he unfortunately falls short. Namor then attempts to use his superhuman strength in order to leap upon the ship, which he successfully manages to do, and using his superhuman strength, he manages to break into the ship. Upon entrance to the ship, Doom hits Submariner with an electrical charge. However, this does not do anything to Submariner, who repurposes the charge in order to overrun the controls of the ship, shocking Doom instead and destroying the ship. However, Doom manages to make a quick escape at the last possible moment, allowing the Baxter Building and the Fantastic Four to safely fall back down to Earth. Upon safe arrival home, we end issue 6 with Sue attempting to explain to Bangrim her sympathies towards the Submariner. Issue 7 takes us to the planet X, as it faces Doom in the face of a large meteor hurling towards it. We see one of the aliens of Planet X as he discusses with the planet's leader, Kurgo, who decides to send one of the 2 ships the planet has to Earth in search for someone who could possibly help them. We then go to the Fantastic Four, where the team is discussing an invitation they've received to Washington for a government dinner in their honor. Each member discussing their anxieties about the event and why they don't want to go. As the team discuss, an ominous and mysterious robot emerges from the spacecraft that has recently arrived from the planet X in search of someone that can help. We then cut back to the team now in Washington as they anxiously deal with the event that they've been invited to. Some of them slowly coming to terms that it may not be as bad as they initially thought. Meanwhile, the robot on board the spacecraft lets out a signal that suddenly turns people hostile, including turning people against the Fantastic Four. The Fantastic Four flee quickly from their Washington dinner, making a quick escape in the Fantastic Car. However, they soon realize they are being chased by the alien spaceship. Eventually, the 4 arrive at the roof of the Baxter Building, where they are greeted by this strange and ominous robot. The robot shows them that the world has turned against them, and that the only way they'll be safe is if they come with him to the planet X, to which the team begrudgingly obliges. And so the team are brought to the planet X, and quite literally dropped off. There on the planet X, it is explained to the team that the planet has merely hours before its demise, as a massive rogue meteoroid is hurled towards the planet X. Of course, the team are also shown the effects that the gravitational pull is already having on the destruction of planet X, and so the team gets to work immediately, working on a solution. With only minutes to spare, Reed comes up with 2 inventions. One, a shrinking gas, which will allow them to shrink all the inhabitants of Planet X, allowing them to all fit onto the one rocket ship in order to escape. The other, an antidote to the shrinking gas, which will return them to their original size upon returning on a new planet. And so the population of Planet X is shrunk down and boarded onto one of the ships, while the Fantastic Four boards onto the ship that they arrived in order to escape home. However, the leader, Kurgo, is greedy and decides to hold on to the antidote himself so that he could rule supreme as the largest of his people when they arrive on their new planet. However, this would ultimately be Kurgo's demise, as the supposed antidote slows him down and he does not make it to the ship in time and is destroyed with the rest of his planet. However, it is revealed by Reed Richards on our final page that there was never an antidote to the reducing gas. He only lied about it so that the inhabitants of Planet X would consent to his plan. And so brings us to the end of Fantastic Four on the Planet X and the end of issue 7 of Fantastic Four. Once again, if you've liked this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. I will see you again next week as we continue our read through of the Marvel 616. Thanks for watching.